What's up, YouTube? Also, Discord, I'm doing this in too. Let's get started on charting. Just a reminder, tomorrow I will not be on live. Gonna be in the hospital during the day with my son's surgery, so probably take some scalps or just listen in VC and just definitely look at other people's plays and just keep up with the market. Try to send updates when I can, but just all depending on him and what happens. But let's go ahead and get started, guys. Right now we had a nice up, but it seems like when Asia opened, we are definitely taking a fallback. Asia is up though, which I'm pretty surprised that they gapped up and fell, gapped up and falling. So we're just catching a fall right there. Um, uh, Last week's weekly candle was looking pretty horrible, but we did make it look we made it look not horrible on Friday, just on Friday. But this blue line right here is the anchored VWAP from the COVID lows, which was actually pretty interesting if we do fall back here. Also, we definitely want to watch fibs from this all-time high to see where we're going to actually bounce. I believe previously on this one bounce, we bounced about 50%, 0.618. So I'm definitely watching fibs on this bounce, see if we could actually come up, kind of test that half bounce. Come up, test this half bounce on the fib, and continue down. Definitely going to play it week by week though, and see how everything's gonna happen. Play day by day. But right now we are rejecting a 4-hour, 3-hour, 2-hour. So we're technically rejecting the CPI data. What's up, Naked Arcade Riot Club? Yeah, definitely rejecting right now that CPI. Pre-market from CPI, we had that huge drop, had a huge push up, and then fell again. So right now we're currently rejecting it. That's going to be a big spot. 40.50 is definitely a huge spot for the market right here because we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 spots right there right now. Let me I'm gonna get out of this Discord because no one's there. But definitely 1, 2, 3. Of course, when these zones become they get tapped more. Technically there's less and less sellers, but there's definitely some kind of strong seller here in the market. Definitely something happening here. 40.50 is gonna be hard, but I think when we go over it, we should see 4,100 pretty quick. I think we'll move up fast when we get past that one very active, very strong seller. And then on the downside, I'm looking at this 4-hour. We have a rally, a base, and a rally where we're rejecting. Possibly come down here. This is the Friday. Nice little push up. See if we could catch some possible. My volume comes in kind of low. Let me just make sure everything's super high. All right, everything should be high. Hopefully, I mean, it's getting up there. ES futures for S&P 100. Yeah, supply. I do supply and demand zones. Definitely one of the best ways to trade. Go down here a little bit. I trade multiple different ways. But yes, I do chart ES for basically the whole market. And then you try to find stocks that are either very strong against the ES or very weak against the ES. But right now, I mainly do ES and I do NQ. I do chart SPY. I do chart everything. But my main chart. I had this on a full screen, and then the other screen I have, my 8 charts like this. I have all this set up. I need to get my webcam set up over here so I can actually look at where I'm talking. But this right here, this seller. Let's see if we could come down, tap here. At open, that'd be awesome if we could hit this at open. But I think vitality is definitely moving a lot. Hopefully we get some nice moves. I'm so ever since I started using higher time frame like daily, weekly, 2 day, 3 day, 4 hour, I've been more consistent. Yes, you can do intraday like ES. I will do intraday, and I'll show you what I was seeing Friday. Is I try not to go down past 15, but intraday Friday, where were we? We had this nice push up. I'm definitely watching the stock price to come down from this huge push up right here. And we did here. This was a nice, I'm pretty sure 30 minute. You can see 30 minute right here. And that was a nice entry. You have this huge push up. What you're looking for is kind of a little basing candle sideways action right here. You can see we went sideways right before it closed. We pushed down, pushed up. Buyers came in and open. You're waiting for price to come back to that same area where buyers actually came in and push up again. End of day was an hour one right here where we were able to push back up into it and drop right here. This was end of day. But you see how we tapped it perfectly end of day? Sold off pretty hard. But end of day Friday, pretty hard. But I found that higher time frames are a lot better. But 15 minute, you could go like this. Was telling someone, here's my entry for calls right here. You have a rally base rally, you based, and then we started rallying again, but we came back down to the zone to catch a little bit more buyers. Boom, came down, shot back up a little bit. Lower time frames are lower conviction. The higher time frames, I love to get higher. They're higher conviction. Definitely a lot better. They don't happen as often, but once we hit a daily on ES, like if we're coming back down to here, I'm definitely looking for another bounce at 3939. Look at this one right here on the daily. We came down, drop, base, drop. When we came back there, what did we do again? We dropped again. Dropped again. We came back down there, dropped again. So higher time frames naked are a lot higher conviction, but they do take a while to work out. Tesla, out right here, I was waiting for Tesla to get down to here. A couple last week. We're to have that move, takes a couple days. But we had a nice little bounce off that zone right here. We pushed up to 826 and then dropped again. So you have your higher conviction plays that you could go kind of heavier in, and you catch that nice little. It has a good bounce. It's not a quick scalp. You could do 15 minute, 5 minute for scalps, but on SPY, I think we caught a weekly, monthly. I don't know what 2 day we caught something. That zone doesn't make any sense. We have kind of a push, kind of consolidation down, and a push again. So the whole basis behind it is you want this price to get back down to this demand here. And look, we pushed back up again. SPY, we're doing we have this huge broadening formation, and a lot of people are predicting this kind of movement on SPY. Oh, that's kind of like a little inverted head and shoulders, but not the one I charted earlier. The one I charted earlier was definitely a larger time frame. Right here. I don't really like inverted head and shoulders, but if they seem kind of obvious like this, it could possibly be a nice rally, but I like to play price action on, based on just supply and demand. But NQ, we had a nice, definitely looking for us to come back up to here, kind of this daily. If I do a small count, $1,000, which do you recommend? I only trade SPY. Do ES, MES futures, no trade. Do a cash count with SPY. SPX is going to, let me delete that. XPX is starting to do daily ones too, which is gonna, small count, I'll definitely do SPY only. But yeah, definitely SPY. You could trade SPY 3 times a week with $1,000, possibly 5 times a week. But small accounts, I tell people, you want to wait for that setup. You want to wait for that high conviction play. SPY. I'd like for it to see now chart ES, but you're just waiting for that. Maybe that drop down to 3940 and then kind of a bounce back up, or this one right here at 4172. But smaller accounts, you definitely got to go a little lighter. And just go green every day. That's what I tell people: go green every day. If you have $1,000, have an all cash amount where if you hit 875 and you have options open, close them all. Start tomorrow fresh. I believe that's the best way to go about it. And you don't have to trade every day. Just wait for those. You got to wait for those setups. You could go full port into a beautiful setup and catch that 10%, 20% move. Get all out. You can't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Don't look for the home run. Sit down, write write how much percentage or dollar amount you want to make per day and how much you want to lose, and stick to that. You have to stick to that with small ports. But VIX, definitely caught a nice 4-hour. I've been doing charting supply and demand. We're holding this little supply here. So we haven't been able to get above 36. Above 36, 38 really hasn't happened a lot since COVID. We'll just go through a few tickers, kind of on the larger time frame, and see what happens from there. Apple, we're having a nice little bounce. I was showing everyone Apple. If you looked at your volume on the daily, look at this. This was huge volume on this day. So we were ready to make a move with Doji. Definitely ready to make a move on that one. Apple's fun to play because it's kind of cheap and you can go farther out. I think Apple's definitely a good play for a lot of people on small accounts too, because you could go weeks out and not have to worry that much. But Apple, I think we're going up to a weekly right here, so my projected path would be this if we do continue up on this bounce. Definitely need to watch if we do continue up on the bounce. A lot of people are saying it was a squeeze. Shorts covering. If it's shorts covering, the bounce is going to be. Is it worth charting? Yeah, I could do Twitter next. If it was shorts covering, this bounce is not going to be relieved. Lived long. AMD, not really looking at AMD a lot. I like to play NVIDIA, but we'll chart Twitter. Twitter should drop hard. I wanted Twitter to actually come up here and then drop, but what I like to tell people is you had this with extended hours on. This is one of the few times I like to use fibs. Is you have this nice huge candle. So what I like to do is take this fib from this candle. got it backwards. And what we do is we usually come back, this huge candle, we usually come back about 50%, definitely 50% there, and eventually you can tell where did we fall. What was our last green candle at that 50%, and we fell. I see Twitter to continue to go down. I have these probably super high, so it's really not worth it anymore. But you also remember the deal price is at 54.20. So if you're in shares, if the deal does go through, you're getting $54 a share. So it's actually, if you buy now, you could get you for you gain $14 per share. You just got to hold it through. But yeah, it's pure chaos. I had let me see what news. I had some news on it too. Elon Musk says Twitter legal team told him that he violated an NDA, but then the CEO of Twitter said the deal will go through. So there's a lot of back and forth, probably a lot of contract stuff, but that's kind of where I stay away. Not really worth it for me. But go back to our charting. Tesla, we broke through that one. Keep an eye on, the only thing I look at Tesla is keep just an eye on that 700. We were able to hold 700 very well here, and we made a new higher high here. Definitely watch if Tesla does come down back to that 700. Definitely watch it to bounce again, or if it breaks that 700, I think we're going down to 651, kind of 600. Facebook, I'm watching right here on Facebook, 190. Facebook, beautiful, beautiful gap fill right here. Actually has a little bit of a gap left, but I'm pretty sure it's completed. Just a little bit left. Not really too much to be concerned, but yeah, Facebook, I'm definitely looking at Doji right there. It's 207.41. We're able to pop back up. A lot of stocks are kind of in between higher time frame. So supply and demand, because a lot of stocks the other day hit that daily demand, and we've had a nice relief bounce. Microsoft had that monthly. We had a rally, sideways action here, and then a huge rally to the upside. And we actually came down and actually bounced from it pretty well right here. These don't seem like big moves, but if you get into this contract, at the right time, we came down, we came into it. We had one bounce here. Dude, yeah, Nvidia is my favorite. We had this one bounce here, good 3% move in the stock, and then also we had that, bounce here, 5%. If you time that right and hold on to it, and you get a little bit farther out, that's good, 200, 300%. But Microsoft, like I said, most stocks are in between a supply and demand, so we just got to wait for the routes to take place, and we just sit back and wait, either one way or the other. Nvidia was beautiful. What was that? Thursday? Look at that beautiful huge push. We have two gaps to the downside, but we had a nice push up here. Look at that sideways action. 1, 2, 3 on earnings. Huge push up sideways, and then it was there. We came back on that supply. Look at that beautiful touch. Got into it. I think we made a good easy $100 quick. Look at that double touch. Definitely should have got back into it. That's 16% move on the video from there. But also with daily demands and supplies, the more times we touch it, the weaker it is. You can tell we came down into it more because we're catching more buyers right there. But Nvidia, just like everything else, is in between a 4-hour supply and the daily demand. But that daily demand is weak because we've already hit it twice. And this is my 4-hour supply right here. We have that drop, sideways action, then we had a huge drop. I think kind of lower time frame we're just sitting, at 180 is probably a tough spot for Nvidia. But a lot of these stocks, you definitely gotta just hold off, see how price action happens. We're in between two definitely different zones. Square, I don't really like to play Square after earnings. Some stocks have earnings unless it's a complete obvious direction. It would have been good. Square was good here. We had that nice little bounce here. You can tell once we broke through it, we kind of broke through pretty fast. You got to go way back to figure out where. If zones have been touched multiple times, how do you define new supply and new demand? Just like Apple, you just do the next demand down. We had this one, or I think I had one that was, yeah, Tesla. We have this one that 700 zone here. It was a 2-day or something. Yeah, 2-day right here, and then we have a weekly below. But we broke through it, so usually if we break through it, I erase it, and then you're watching that fall. It's kind of like, I like to say it's kind of like a bouncing ball. The first bounce is big, like this, but probably not that many bounces. But eventually you're gonna bounce through. The more zones, if you keep punching a zone, it's gonna get weaker and weaker. Definitely. Also on these zones, you have to figure out. We did touch. If we had a zone here on Facebook, we touched once. Where did we touch it in the zone, and did we shoot out pretty strong? We shot out pretty strong. We broke above the previous high, so actually that's a pretty strong. Zone's pretty strong, even though we hit it twice. But I like the untouched zones. They're just better. There's higher conviction. That's all it is. It's a waiting game. Higher conviction, waiting game. I'm alerting 2 to 3 plays now. I was alerting 6, 7. A couple months ago, but these are all high conviction. I don't have problems getting in. I don't have problems going red because these plays I believe are just going to work out. Some other stocks. Affirm. All I'm waiting for Affirm is to get back up to 30, and then you'll see I will take a short so bad. 2-day. So, or Affirm could come back down and see that zone. These are just higher time frames naked on all these different stocks. ES, I kind of do lower time frames, but all these other ones, just waiting for these daily zones, and I'll take a jab at it. But Amazon right here was a previous, this is just resistance right here, resistance, kind of broke above it, resistance, and eventually broke straight through it. You can tell we bounced from the same spot. We bounced multiple times. Amazon, I have a 2-day. This is what we're looking at. We have a drop, a base, and then a huge drop. So we're looking back to come up onto this base and then drop again. That's what we're looking for. Sometimes we do break through supplies, and sometimes we do break through demands. That's where you just got to know where's the trend. Where's the trend on Amazon recently? Recently the trend's down. I think we're going to be continue going down until we have some kind of catalyst or whatnot. But that's just my personal opinion. But right now the trend is down. So, the trend is your friend. You want to see more supply. You're waiting for stocks to come up to a supply for a nice relief bounce and then continue down. Bullish, no bearish. The trend's down right now. We're going down. we're down. Like, there's no bullish anything about this. I'm waiting for that 50% fib at 4331. If we break past that, yeah, we could start heading up. We could start being more bullish. But right now, everything's aiming down. And that could change within a day. That's why I like, play price action of the day. I don't really try to think too far ahead. Definitely don't swing anymore. Google not looking at. Lucid, no. Moderna, I was waiting for Moderna to hit this little rally-based rally, and we kind of really didn't. So Moderna's kind of in no man's land right now. The only thing I could really see is right here. If we come back to that 158, I'd definitely take a stab at that short. Right there, you can see we have a kind of a relief bounce sell-off. So, when demand zones are different than resistance, and support and resistances are, AMD, 92 is a support and a resistance. You look at AMD on 92, we have a support here, broke below, kind of a resistance. How many times did we hit 92 from underneath? A couple of times. Support, and then became another resistance. This doesn't turn into a demand or a supply zone. Looking at NVIDIA or AMD, we did have a kind of a supply here, came back up, touched it, dropped again. But supply and demand is the concept behind supply and demand is we're buying where things have already sold off. Right here. I mean, this is a nice sample. So we had this move from 125 and they pushed the price down to 99. So when the price comes back up to 125, more times than not, they're going to push the price back down again. Sellers are sitting up here, and buyers are sitting down here. So they're battling back and forth between these two prices. Eventually, one side's going to win, but you can see how many times we've tapped this zone 1, 2, 3, 4. Sellers are able to push through it because buyers aren't there anymore. So that's kind of the whole thing behind supply and demand. The main thing is you want price to come back up to where it's been sold off. A big red candle right there. Eventually we're going to get back up to there and possibly sell off again. ES is a good example on FOMC. I thought I'd see that big mover faster. No, not FOMC, CPI. CPI is a good, okay. So CPI was an easy short. You always want to look at this. Try to find it right here. So when we're looking at this, we can look at 30-minute. We try to find like a little tiny basing candle. There we go. 30-minute, maybe we'll go to an hour. Maybe an hour looks better. There we go. See that little basing candle? Just a basing candle is just a small body candle. And actually CPI is right here. There's basing candle right here. So this huge sell-off. So if, more times than not, when we actually get back up to the zone, what do we do again? We sell off again. So that's the whole concept behind supply and demand. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going through a couple more. Definitely got to wake up super early. Roku, looking at Roku. This was, look at that beautiful bounce. came back all the way over here from the 20th of March. But Roku, we have this sell off here. We come back up, boom, sell off. That's all you need. That's 30% right there. Minus 12% in the stocks. If you time that nice and you get in, you're gonna get a nice nice profit there. And you keep your stop loss like right above the zone, right? Sometimes they like to wick you out. Sometimes they like to stop hunt. So you want to keep it just above that zone. And if you would have got in Roku while we rejected that, where we sold off hard, rejected again, you could have swung that minus 50% of stock. That option, man, that would could have went 1,000 to 100,000. You could have made 100,000 probably on that play. That's why I like these higher time frames. Just like shop, I like to show shop. Where did shop bounce? Right here at that 305. You go back to where this 305 was, where my zone was. Look at that. It should be right here. Should be that one. We have this. I think it's higher than 2-day or daily. So you have a nice look at that huge push up. So we're able to push from the zone once, 54. Look at shop went on a tear after that. So when they come back to that price, we bounce again. Snow. Snow that right here. Nice little drop. You base for a little bit and you rally, and we came back in. Look at that little pop right there. First time we touched it, we popped back up. Eventually broke through. SC I like to show with supply and demand. Okay, there we go. So we had a 24 hour. Sometimes I do 24 hours, sometimes I do daily. Look, we pop room that 55. Pop perfectly. Right here, you can see we had this nice small green candle with followed by a huge sell off. What do we do when we come back up to that zone? Look at it, almost touched it perfectly. We sold off again. These zones came back from over here. Pretty nice bounce from there. Some other things I'm looking at is Oxy. I think it's CVX. On the monthly. CVX on the monthly is pretty interesting. I don't know. This is a broad information right here. I like to do these just because you find exhaustion. We broke that flag, huge push up, on the monthly. We tell we might be hitting our top on that. So I'm definitely might take some swing puts, but not sure yet. So let's go back to futures. I always start with futures and always end with futures. So there you go. See, we tapped that. I think it's an hour. That hour from CPI data. So Friday, I was waiting for this touch. We almost touched on the Friday. But if we also go to NQ, NQ touched its CPI data. That's that NQ right here on a 3-hour. And then you can see there's that rejection. That's where I took that QQQ puts because I saw this. And you sometimes NQ hits the supply first, and it's going to cause, if tech falls, usually SPY falls with it. One's a little bit stronger than the other, but they kind of coincide. So that was kind of the top of the market on Friday, was that 3-hour supply from that CPI where we dropped, we recovered, and we dropped again. So, that's going to be a hard spot, but, this is where we finally touched today. You can tell, you just go down to your smaller time frames. Look at that candle. Once it touches, they drove that price down fast. That touch up, huge drop. Volume probably came in pretty strong. Look at that strong volume. Week up, huge volume coming in red. And then we're probably bouncing from this little hour right here, which is going to be the lower time frame is kind of, you're not going to see the biggest bounces too. That's why I like to stick to the dailies. I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Definitely like and subscribe, guys. Follow me on Twitter. Definitely follow me Twitter. TikTok, I'm trying to boost my TikTok, trying to boost my YouTube, guys. Definitely like this video, share it. Got my mentorship program going on right now, right here on this Discord. Mentorship program, supply and demand. I break it down. If you want to learn, that's the best way to learn. But that should be it for me tonight. Unfortunately, I probably missed most of tomorrow, but I will be there in spirit. I will still be typing. I'll just be in the waiting room with my son. So appreciate you guys joining. Definitely gonna start doing these Sunday nights. Definitely, putting out videos every day, putting out recaps every day, going live every day. I'm here for you guys. But y'all have a great rest of your night.